back in 1959, there was this elderly gentleman that had quite a few beehives, and I didn't have any. And I also had another friend who had bees, and so I thought, well, this is a good little hobby to get into, and so I got into it as a hobby. Over the years, I developed more of an interest in it, added more beehives, and so I soon increased to 300, 400, and then it just grew into a full-time business. You get lots of exercise. I don't have to go out and jog, just go out and work the bees. There's plenty of lifting. It's quite a challenge. You're doing something different each year. You have spraying management, you have the taking off the honey, you have the winterizing of the bees, and the carrying the bees through the winter. So it's not so monotonous in that you are doing something different as the year goes on.
The bees are probably in 4 to 5 different counties, surrounding counties. Normally 30, 40 beehives in one place. Of course, placed in farming areas, placed at apple orchards, cantaloupe patches and this type of thing. But they're scattered out, and most people do think that they're all in one place.
In the hive, you would need several brood chambers for the bees to live in, a bottom board for the hive to sit on so the bees can come and go from an opening in the bottom board. You would need honey supers to catch the honey. You would need a lid over the top of it and combs, which are really just sheets of wax that have been processed at the factory to resemble a foundation, and the bees build their cells on this foundation just like a house. Bees do sting, but I think a beekeeper learns what type of weather that he can go into the beehives. You don't want to go in on a rainy day. You want to go in a beehive when the bees are working and they're preoccupied by gathering honey. And you can go in at times and work all day without getting stung. Any beekeeper who has left his smoker at home on a trip to the bee yard and had to try to go in and work the bees without a smoker has found out that smoke has a calming effect. It threatens the bees. It's like if someone opened your house with a giant smoker and just filled it full. You'd probably be thinking about filling up on some food or something and heading for somewhere where it's quieter. The bees are a microcosm of a social order. They have different workers dedicated to different jobs. Like you have policemen, you have nurse bees, you have wax makers, you have the ones that ripen the honey by fanning air currents through the beehives. The worker bee is an incomplete female, and the queen is a complete female, and she's been fed copious amounts of bee larva food, which sometimes is called royal jelly. And this royal jelly helps develop her totally as a female, and she is able to lay as many as 1,500 eggs at the peak of the season. And that's something like twice her own body weight. So she has to be fed by the nurse bees continually to keep this egg-laying machine going. So it's quite a social order. I'm mostly a wholesaler. I sell to larger packers, and my helper, he sells the honey retail here, and it's also sold in several stores and at an apple orchard.
Yeah, I met Ken 11 years ago, right about this time, and since moving here on the honey ranch, I call it the honey farm, I sell right out of the house here and retail it, and I sell it in honey bears, pints, quarts, gallons, 5-gallon buckets. That's about as large as I go.
The first thing we do, we bring the honey in on the truck, and it's on pallets, and move it into the honey house. Then the first process it goes through is to be put in the uncapping machine. And the uncapping machine takes the seal off the honey, and then it's pushed down the conveyor to the extractor, where it's loaded into the extractor. Then the extractor, through centrifugal force, spins the honey out of the combs. And then from there, the honey runs into the sump, and in the sump, the When that fills, the pump comes on and pumps it over in through the strainer into the honey storage tank. And then from there, it's bottled.
Since I've known Ken, many beekeepers have lost 200-300 hives at a time. And since I've known Ken Garman, it seems like his have increased. So I would consider that a blessing, and I don't consider either one of us in it for the money. It's something that we enjoy, and there's no other food product that I'd rather have than honey in my body.